Good name is better than riches. And I'm still continuing this to say that, if you're humble as a human being, you need to humble yourself. As a human being, you need to respect one another. There's this man people used to call his name so much. He is an African, one of the African presidents. This is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was somebody that we have all heard of. Some of us have seen him. Some of us knows about him. We have heard of the history and things like that. That he was a president of South Africa. Now, he did something that actually has got him a name. In the first place, he humbled himself to the extent that he was in the prison. And even in prison, he actually learned a lot to be humble. And he came from the prison to be the president of South Africa. Now, the story I'm going to talk about him is the way he respects people. And sometimes if you don't have a respect, or if you don't have a respect, you don't have wisdom. If you don't fear God, you don't have wisdom, because it is said that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Now, if you don't fear Lord, and you put yourself on your certificates and the power that you have and all the monies that you have, you are going to be somebody who will not gain a good name for yourself. I'm talking about Nelson Mandela. What is it particular about this person that I'm talking about? There was this time that he invited a friend. That is the story. He invited a friend to come to the house. And this friend came with a driver. So when they came, he invited this person to come for dinner or, some enjoyment. And so when they came, the big man, Nelson Mandela went out there, opened the door, and then the man came in and he's like, "Wait, are you alone?" And then the big man is like, "Yeah, I'm alone." But lo and behold, he came with a driver. So Nelson Mandela ushered him and gave him a seat. And no time the dinner was ready. And so Nelson Mandela knew exactly that this person came with a driver. And so he opened the door, went out, and invited the driver to come in to eat with them, to have dinner with them. The driver was actually shivering because he cannot go and sit on the table with the boss or with the master. But Nelson Mandela encouraged this person to come in. And so he said, "This is your seat and this is your plate. Sit down. Let's all enjoy." Lo and behold, he didn't give me any alcohol anyway, because, as a driver, sometimes you need not to, do the alcoholic something, unless sometimes you get home, So he sat the driver down, and after they have eaten, the drivers pointed to the boss instead of Mandela. That, "Thank you, boss, for letting me in to eat with you." And then the boss is like, "No, I didn't invite you." He said the truth, but it was the president, Mandela, that invited you to come to eat with you. Why am I saying this? Sometimes we look down upon people because of the occupation or because of the jobs that they do. Because they are your subordinates. Because you're powerful than they do. Because you are the one giving them pay, their daily bread. And so because of that, you're sitting on them. Because of that, we are oppressing them. Look at all this. But sometimes human beings, our knowledges are very limited. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in the first place, sometimes we forget the very important people in our lives. We forget the very people that we need to take care of them, because our lives, apart from that, our lives in God's hands, our life is also in those people. Just imagine your driver that drives you. If you sit in the car, you have handed over your life to your driver. If you sit in the car and then you start dozing, you don't know what is going on. Because most of the big men, as soon as they sit in their car, they will start dozing or they will start sleeping. Now, if you're sleeping, your life is in this driver. And just imagine, this person that your life is in him, you're belittling him because you think the job that he's doing, he did not go to university, he did not go to any school to acquire that. And so because of that, you're belittling him. Eventually, you're belittling yourself because you don't see yourself to be important. Because this is the guy that drives you. And if you don't treat him well, and he's thinking about certain problems that he has, or he's thinking about, he is hungry. When you went, you've gone and eat and you're satisfied. And he is hungry. A human being is a human being. If he's not having any strength anymore, and he starts also to sleep behind the steer, what do you think is going to happen? Sometimes we don't think about the people that are very important in our lives. I am stressing that because I mean it. Somebody who is your subordinate, working in your store or bringing people to come and buy your goods so that you get money, we belittle them. Sometimes some of us, our drivers, will even come home and pound our fufu or do something else instead of even being drivers. They will come and do our laundries and all that because we don't respect them. But if you don't respect somebody of that nature, you're not putting your life in a good place. So we need to respect one another, regardless of the job that they do. We got to actually respect each and everyone that we meet on the street, because you don't know the time that you need these people. Sometimes we don't respect our wives because we think they're all women or they're women and that sort of thing. But they're the very important people in our lives. Sometimes we don't respect our fathers and that sort of thing because they didn't go to school. They don't know anything about computers. And so because of the computer that you know, you can bully them. So as human beings, there are certain things that we need to know on our fingertips. We sometimes blame God for nothing. If we are not actually enjoying our lives on this earth, sometimes we blame God. And then we forget that we are the real cause of that. People will say, oh, if God is God, why would he do this? And why wouldn't he do this? No, he has given our wills to us, but we are limited to what we can do. Because if he opened himself and say, okay, these are my children, I'm going to do this. No, we wouldn't like it. Because as human beings, we want to do what we want to do. We will not listen to God. We will not do the good things that he wants us to do, especially when it comes to love one another. So if you don't treat your wife and your drivers and all that well, your life is not going to be better also. Let's say if you're a chief or a king or something somewhere, it is rather unfortunate. And for you, it is fortunate that you've been born like that. But you're not born to sit on people. If you're a chief, know that the person that carries your umbrella helps you, but this is the person that shows that you are the king or the chief or whatever. Give them a little bit of a respect. The people in your community, you have been elected to be a president, whatever they have elected you to be. It is these people that have made you who you are. If you're a rich person and you buy all kinds of whatever it is, businesses and all that, don't forget that it is the poor man that will come into your store to buy for you to get profit. It is the poor man that will sit maybe in your plane and pay you so that you can pay yourself too, and you can get something to eat. It is the sick person that is coming to your hospital as a doctor for you to be able to also get something to eat and look after your family too. So we depend on one another. So we should be humble to each other because we're not different. So there's going to be a day that you would also die. And when you get there, then we should know. So we should evaluate ourselves and know that each and every one on this earth is very important. God made us for a purpose. I will come again, and please let's think about what we can actually help others to be. Good name is better than riches.